Hello, students. Today we are going to study the next poem, that is Amanda. Amanda is a small girl of 9 or 10 years, and we are going to study about how she feels when she is continuously nagged and shaved by her mother. The poem is written by Robin Klein. So let's begin with the poem. Amanda, who is a girl of 9 or 10 years, has been continuously nagged and shaved by her mother. You know that a child should never be denied freedom and space. You are normally nagged and shaved at by your mothers, by your parents, so that your behavior, your manners, your etiquettes become socially acceptable in the society. You behave in a manner which is liked by everyone. But in this quest or in this process, what happens that you are continuously pointed out at, and there are many do's and don'ts that are surrounding in your life, and that makes you irritated and annoyed, and finally you become very moody. And sometimes this kind of a life is very suffocative, and you really crave for your personal space where such kind of restraints are not there. So sometimes, as Amanda does, a child also steals into her own imaginary world. So let us begin with the poem. Every child feels that she or he is controlled and instructed not to do one thing or another. So, you know that your parents are always controlling you, the parents are always instructing you to do this, not to do that, etc. You too may feel that your freedom is curtailed. And yes, there are points of time where you feel that your freedom is restricted, it has been cut down, and you are not able to enjoy your freedom, you are not able to live your life as you wanted. Write down some of the things you want to do. So, as a beginning warm up activity, they want you to write some things which you want to do, but your parents are always not allowing you to do so. Okay, let's begin with the first stanza. What are the common practices that are made by the parents, and what are the common remarks that you as well as Amanda are always listening to? Don't bite your nails, Amanda. I think you have already studied a poem like this, I think in your 7th class. The poem is Shivi, that how the child is always said in a way or pointed out in a way, don't do this, don't do that. So he or she starts feeling as though his or her name also begins with don't. So we begin with the similar here also. The poem begins with a don't, an instruction not to do something. So don't bite your nails, Amanda, because this is a bad habit and it is not hygienic also for your health. So your mother is pointing out, she doesn't want you to do so. This is not socially acceptable also. So don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Hunching means raising your shoulders and bending ahead. So sit properly. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight. You know that you should not sit in a lazy and downward direction, in a posture which is quite lazy and where you have bent enough. So your mother stops you and she wants that you follow a proper posture that would be good for your health and your physique. So she is stopping you from slouching and she instructs you to sit up straight, Amanda. But Again, what it is continuous pointing out, and Amanda gets irritated and frustrated. Now, the part or the paragraph, the stanza that has been given in parenthesis or in bracket is actually the imaginary world of Amanda where she steals into. So, as soon as this is said and pointed out, she goes into her imaginary world and she starts dreaming. There is a languid emerald sea. And what is in her imagination? There is a languid. Languid means there is no force or interest. Emerald sea. Emerald is a green colored stone. So this green sea has been called as emerald sea. This is also a metaphor that has been used here, and these things are a symbol of freedom and imagination and wonder for her. So she imagines to steal into an emerald green, beautiful sea where the sole inhabitant is me. Where there is nobody in the world to disturb her, she is the only inhabitant living there. Soul is the only one. A mermaid. And what she is there? She is a mermaid. She is an imaginary sea creature. You know, mermaids have a half fish body and half human body. And this is also an allusion that has been used here. That means a famous character has been used here as a mermaid. And what she is doing there? She is drifting blissfully, very slowly and steadily, without any disturbance, without any poking in her life. She is moving and she is swimming and moving on in the ocean. This is what her imagination is, and there is she all alone. No one is there to disturb her. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Again, we come to reality. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? You would have also heard the same statement coming up from your parents many a times. Did you tidy your room, Amanda? So, have you done your homework? And have you put your room in the right order? You need to be very careful about your surroundings also. You need to keep your shelf, your room clean also. You should complete your homework also. That is very important for your life. I thought I told you to clean your shoes. And yes, you should wear nice, clean shoes every day when you go to the school. So, this you should be developing as a habit. And that is why the mother is instructing Amanda. And gradually she is losing her control and she is becoming annoyed and irritated with the passage of time. So, parents are in a way instructing her again and again, and she is gradually losing her cool. Now, again at this point, she steals into an imaginary world and she goes to the extent which is awfully depressing because she imagines now herself as an orphan, as a child without parents. So I am an orphan roaming the streets. Again, this is her reaction to her mother's harsh words. And she withdraws into another world where she is an orphan, she has no parents, and there is nobody to disturb her, poke her, or do anything. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. And here in this world, she is allowed to do everything. Hushed means quiet and still. And she is bare feet. Nobody is stopping her to do anything. She is enjoying all by herself. And here she can make designs with her dirty feet in silence, and there is nobody to disturb her. The silence is golden, and she compares silence with golden. That means it's like gold. It is a metaphorical comparison here that silence is golden and freedom is sweet. So, how much she cherishes silence and freedom can be seen here. That is, that she is even ready to be an orphan girl who has no parents to take care of and who is all alone in this world. So, she cherishes the silence as well as freedom to do anything. The love of silence contrasts to shouting and yelling by her mother. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Again, you know that chocolates are not very good if you eat them too much. So, again, a restriction. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. And you know, if you eat a lot of chocolates, you will get acne and pimples. So, that is not good for your beauty, also, for your face, also, because again, your beauty is something which adds to your being socially acceptable. So here we see that maybe values are not that important, but beauty is again very important. With you, will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? So look at me. Let your gestures respond, or you should respond in a proper way with proper gestures. So look at me when I'm speaking. Please pay attention at me. So we see here beauty and appearance is also very significant in the life of a person, even sometimes more valued than creativity and values. The scoldings made her very careless, and she has actually stopped paying heed, which annoys the parent even more. Let us move on. Again, when she is shouted at, she moves into an imaginary world where she feels that she is Rapunzel. Rapunzel, you know, is a famous fairy tale character, and she had very long golden locks or golden hair. So, it is a German fairy tale character, and I have not a care, and she feels that she is Rapunzel. Okay, and Rapunzel was there in a tall tower, at the top of a tall tower, all alone. So she is ready to live at the top of a tall tower without the presence of any human beings in the world. So life in a tower is tranquil, and she feels that it would be something without any trouble, anxiety, and it would be a peaceful and perfect state of mind, and rare, and such kind of a silence, and there where there is no trouble, such kind of a life would be very rare, because she is craving for such silence and such life where there is no cooking, no disturbance, and no interruption. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. But in the story, when Rapunzel threw her locks down, somebody came up. So here she pledges that she is not going to throw down or let down her locks, bright locks, the golden locks, so that nobody in the world can come up, because she is not ready to be disturbed by anybody. She wants loneliness, she wants solitaire, and she wants silence. So we see here that she pictures herself as Rapunzel. She wants to live all by herself, as presence of somebody wants her to require her to act in a certain way. She wants to live free and free. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. Again, we come to the reality, because the paragraph again begins with stopping. To be angry and upset. So, what is this sulking? That stop being angry and upset about something. Amanda, you are always so moody, Amanda, and you have become so moody. The mother is pointing out. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, but it is a reality that the mother has irritated irritated her, nagged her at by complaining about her attitude again and again. So this is nagging, Amanda. So here we see that the mother wants her not to be moody, not to be angry or upset, and is telling that I'm not nagging at you, but she's actually doing that. See the poetic device. Students, in the first stanza, we can see alliteration being used here. Stop slouching and sit up straight. So stop slouching and sit S sound has been repeated. So we can find alliteration being used here. Then we in this poem have already seen two allusions being used, mermaid and Rapunzel. Rapunzel is also an allusion because she is also a famous fairy tale character and everybody is aware about her. Metaphorical comparison, we have seen that she compares herself to an orphan child. Silence is golden is also a metaphor. Freedom is sweet is also a metaphor. And emerald sea is also a metaphor. So we see here how the mother is showing or training her for the codes of conducts of life and how to be presentable in the society and teaching her the social norms. But she is very much irritated and she steals herself into that imaginary world. So we see here that stop that sulking at once, Amanda, that you are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. So we have already seen this, that how she becomes angry and upset, how she becomes moody, and she feels that she is nagged at. And yes, it is done by the mother. So I think you would have very well related yourself with this poem and you would have understood it. I want you to revise it nicely and comprehend it and try to complete the question answers.